The freaking epilogue of Supernova. Oh my gosh. Did anyone else expect that? Like, tell me please, did anyone else in the world expect that? Because I didn't. What is up everyone? Today I'm going to be doing my book talk / book review on Supernova by Marissa Meyer. If you don't know, this is what Supernova looks like. She's so gorgeous. Like, this cover is honestly one of the best that I have seen this entire year. The beginning of this video will be non-spoiler, so don't worry, you won't get spoiled. I'll let you know before I start going in more in depth into spoilers. But for now, let's just get started. If you don't know what Supernova is, it is the conclusion to the Renegades trilogy. Renegades, Arch Enemies, Supernova. These covers are literally so gorgeous. Like, look at that. So in this world, Renegades are essentially the good superheroes, and there are anarchists, which are considered the villains. And so Renegades is essentially the story of heroes and villains and good and bad, good and evil, whatever. And it centers around Nova Artino, who was leaving only Nova to bask in wanting revenge for the rest of her life because the Renegades had failed to protect her. Something I like about this is the superpowers are very original. Like, it's not just they can fly and they can read minds. It's very original, and each one kind of has like a backstory, and it makes sense that they have it, and I think that's very cool. And the rest of the story is just her lies and her secrets and her hiding who she is to everyone around her, and it's very interesting, and I was so excited to see how it would play out. So Supernova was pretty much just the conclusion of all these things, seeing what happens when Nova gets found out, seeing who reacts how, and everything like that, and all the secrets being revealed of every character, and just the end of the feud between the Renegades and the Anarchists. And I have to say, I would give Supernova a 4 out of 5 stars. I gave the other two I'd probably give Arch Enemies like a 3, and Renegades like a 2.5 or 2.75 or 3. The thing is, the Renegades trilogy is very slow paced, and there's just a lot of world building. And so I really enjoyed Supernova because we didn't get that world building. We were done. And though I did like it, it was just a lot and relatively too much, I would say. And so in Supernova, we really just got to deal with, like, this is what happened, this is the end to it, this is the end, this is the characters. Like, I love that way more than having to get stuck on the world building. And so that's probably why I enjoyed Supernova so much more than the first two. But overall, I'd say the entire Renegades trilogy is definitely worth a read if you ever have time. I mean, this book is pretty thick. Renegades and Arch Enemy are no smaller. They're just about the same size. So you're going to spend a good 1,500 to 2,000 pages reading this series. So if you got that kind of time, I definitely suggest it because it's really good, and you don't want to miss Adrian and Nova's story between villains and superheroes. But that's pretty much all I'm going to say for the non-spoilers, so if you don't want to be spoiled, I'd get out now because I'm going to get into spoilers. So, bye. Who the freak does that? Okay. Am I wearing this, like, tracksuit because I feel like it's closest thing in my closet to a superhero outfit? Yes, I am. Okay, so very early on, Nova gets thrown in prison, and I was just like, dang, like, she got caught up really fast. I've been waiting for this for so long, 2 whole other books, and then she's just gonna get caught up right at the beginning. We had so much more left. I was like, what's gonna happen? Like, what? And so Adrian was pissed, and seeing his reaction was something I really wanted to see, and seeing him be really cold to her and all that stuff, I was like, yes. Like, yes, Adrian, the good freaking sentinel, be mad at Nova, nightmare. And I was like, take that, like, you've been lied to. And I was just, for some reason, I really wanted Adrian to be mad. I don't know what that says about me. But he was, and he was so hurt, and it was just, like, a lot to deal with. But I also didn't expect him to throw her in prison and, like, not care what happened until they said she was going to be executed. But then he still was just like, she should have done that. Like, ooh, that's bad. And so I was like, well, that's kind of odd, but all right. So then we keep going, and, like, Nova gets out because of Narcissa, and I'm like, this girl never liked Nova. Like, she literally hates her. So how is she gonna come up and, like, pretend to be Nightmare and, like, get everybody off of Nova's case? Like, convenient, like, plot ploy, but, like, loved it. And so I'm like, okay, that makes sense. Like, yeah, she would know everything because she walks through mirrors. And Marissa Meyer does a really good job of like setting stuff up way early on. A lot of little things in the first 2 books that I didn't think would matter came up and was like resolved, and I was like, oh, like that's what that meant. And I wasn't even like waiting for those answers, so I really appreciated that, and I did enjoy that. So Narcissa becomes Nightmare essentially, and Adrian believes it because he's just like,
yes, my girlfriend is not Nightmare. Like, I knew it. I always knew it. I love her. She is not Nightmare.
And I'm just like, how are you so blind? How are you so blind, Adrian? Nova is Nightmare. She has been Nightmare from day 1. She literally stole stuff from your house. Like, there's no other evidence than it being Nova. And he's still like, yay, like, she's not Nightmare. Woo! And I'm like, Adrian, you gotta work on your, like, detective skills, buddy, because your girlfriend was a whole ass villain and you didn't know. I'm sorry if my voice sounds weird. This weather is like giving me like a cough and everything, so I'm sorry. So whenever we're in like the middle of the book and it's like that whole execution thing with Ace and all the other prisoners, and to neutralize them with Agent N, literally I was freaking out because I was like, everyone is like dying and losing their powers. Like, everybody was losing their powers, and Ruby, when she lost hers, I felt so bad, and she was like, my brothers are gonna be so upset, and I have little brothers, and I was like, if I was a superhero and I lost mine, that was the only cool thing about me, my brothers would think I was so lame, and I would not want to go home to them, because they would be like, now we really don't like you. And like, I felt for Ruby. I was like, that's kind of sad. And then like Oscar, the fact that he likes her and the way that he went about it was just so funny, and like I really enjoyed Oscar's like phrases and everything he said. Like, I think at one point closer to the end of the book, Nova came back and he was like, is this a thing we're doing now? And then they're like, what? And he's like, trusting her. During that whole time, I think one of the first people to die is Winston, and I honestly, if I was gonna cry during this whole book, that would have been the part, because I felt so bad for him, and we learned about his story and how he was molested as a child, and that's like gave him his power to be a puppeteer. Like, the fact that Marissa Meyer connects them like that is crazy. Like, the powers to the person, and makes them so individualized. I think that is really awesome. I love that. And hearing Winston's and then him dying, but you know, him dying happy and like had that off of his chest was good, but it was just kind of sad to me, and I was like, poor Winston. But also he like saved Nova, and I was like, that's so nice. Also Callum died, which the whole thing where he gives people hope and like that whole scene was like pretty cool, and I was like, oh yay, maybe everything's gonna be all right. But no, that didn't work out at all, because Ace got the helmet. So, and then all hell broke loose when Ace got the helmet. Like, freak, how does this dude who's been like dying for 10 years, who's like withering away, like how is he just like, helmet, like puts the helmet on, we out here boys, like who's gonna die? And I'm like, Ace, like you just like came back from the dead, like can you chill? Like, he has no chill. And I'm like, how? Like, the freaking, like, plausibility of all of that, like, him not having to, like, what is it called? Like, re-up his powers? I was like, this took, like, 1 minute. Is that even, like, can that happen? I kind of had to suspend my disbelief for that, but it was fine. So, Ace is, like, super bad, and I'm like, I kind of expected it to go different. I kind of expected the way that he's been described, him to be very like considerate of everybody and him actually wanting to make a change. But then when he was just like, oh, let's get the renegades, let's get the cathedral back and burn everything else to the ground, I was like, Nova, get your uncle. Like, how did you not know that your uncle was so evil? Like, what? So Honey, I can't believe that she was being so rude. Like, I think that was out of character. I kind of felt a lot of things that some of the characters were doing, oh my freaking gosh, no. I kind of felt like a lot of the things the characters did may have been out of character, and I kind of just ignored it, but the more I think about it, I don't know, maybe that's just me. But Honey, so she was so mean to Adrian, and I don't remember if we got to see her being so ruthless before and being so cruel, but she really was when she was like cutting out his tattoos off of his skin, like, girl. And then Nova like didn't even like help him, and then it wasn't addressed later, like when they made up. She didn't say sorry that I let her like cut your skin off or anything, and I'm just like, mood. But yeah. And then Phobia, the whole thing with Phobia, I did not see that coming. Like, I did not put it together that Adrian literally made phobia, and the fact that he drew it and it came to life and it stayed alive for that long because it built on his fear. I just did not expect that, and I was like, oh my god, that makes sense. Nobody ever knew where phobia came from. He was just like there. And so I think that was very cool, a very cool aspect to put into the book, and I didn't mind that as a subplot. There were other subplots that I was like, do we really need this? Like, this is boring. But I really liked the phobia subplot. Loved it. I loved when finally we got the answer that Adrian still loved Nova despite her being Nightmare, and Nova still loved Adrian despite him being the Sentinel. That whole scene made me smile like an idiot. It made me so cheesy, and it was cheesy, but I was just like, my heart, like, Adrian is a cheese ball. Nova is like a hard ass, but like together it's like cheese. I was gonna say it's like cheese ass. Oh my god, I'm stupid. Imagine if I would have said that. It's like cheese ass. Oh my god, I'm crying. Can I stop? I'm actually crying. I'm not that funny. I'm just stupid. I'm just stupid. Oh my god. Can I stop? I'm sorry if I look like I'm crying. I can't stop. Okay guys, I only have a few more things. I'm sorry. This video is pretty long. So I also didn't understand how they had this much time to like talk while Ace and Captain Chromium were just like fighting to the death. And I'm like, oh my god, okay. But we got all the time in the world now to like kiss and make up, but I enjoyed it, so it's fine. So whenever Adrian was like, but it's like you said, everyone has a nightmare. He pressed his forehead against hers. Maybe I want you to be mine. And I was like, oh! He accepts her for being Nightmare and he loves her. And I was like, I knew it. Adrian's a big softie, a big cheese ball, and he loves Nova, even if she's Nightmare, even if she's bad, haha. And it was cheesy, and I love that it was recognized as cheesy also, because Nova was like, you've been holding on to that one for a while, haven't you? And I'm like, honestly, same. Like, Marissa Meyer had been holding on to that one. And then also, while I have the book, the very last thing that I want to address from the book, I remember seeing Marissa Meyer say that she like could not wait for the book to be called Supernova because she had like planned it a long time ago, which is cool. It makes sense. I like that. And so there's a line and it's when Max, I didn't talk about Max, oops, Max literally saved the day. And once again, boy, when he's gonna come back every decade to do this, when he was a baby, when he turned 10, like Max is that boy saving the whole day. He is the real superhero here. And it's so sad that when literally everybody was losing their powers, I was like, oh my god, like this is going to be a world with no superheroes, and that's going to be the result. But then they all got them back, and then Max was the only one left without any, but he could now like be around people. And I think that was such a like full circle ending to Max's story, and I really enjoyed that. I was like, oh my gosh, like Max is gonna be able to live like a relatively normal life and like be with his family, and that's all he wanted. He's had enough of superpowers, and for a second he had all the power literally in the whole entire world at his touch, but he let it go. And that to me is just amazing. And that whole scene was definitely something straight out of like a Marvel superhero movie, something straight out of a comic. Like me picturing all of that, like when Max's eyes turned golden and all of the flares and the energy stuff, like literally I saw that so vividly. And I really loved that Marissa Meyer was able to describe that like a literal superhero movie. That was just amazing. So they're talking about the explosion of energy, the flashes, everything. The shockwaves across the wasteland washed over the city, filled the rivers and the bay, and tinted the water coppery gold as far as Nova could see. It was destruction and creation at once. It was a supernova. And I was like, damn, like Marissa Meyer, come through with putting the title in the book. Like, it was a supernova. I'm like, shit. And I just had to like close the book and like look at the front, like, huh, I get it. It has like a thing. I feel like Adrian, I can just like shoot light out of my hands. Okay. Anyway, so that's pretty much it from the book. But then the freaking epilogue of Supernova. Oh my gosh. Did anyone else expect that? Like, tell me, please, did anyone else in the world expect that? Because I didn't. And I would genuinely like to know if you did, like, if you saw that coming, if you saw foreshadowing for that, please tell me, because I did not see this coming at all, and I don't think it was foreshadowed at all. So, whenever the epilogue started, and it was obviously in some girl's perspective, I was like, who is this random girl? Like, I want to see Nova and Adrian getting married. Like, I want to see them, like, happy, like, at, like, a family event. But we get this random girl, and I'm just like, who is this? Like, okay. And then, very early on, I kind of started to pick up. I was like, okay, is this that, like, thief girl? Like, the little pickpocketer or whatever? And I was like, okay, like, interesting point of view, but, like, why? And then she keeps going, and I was just kind of like, what? I was just kind of like, why are we hearing this from her? And she seems so negative, and like, she doesn't have her own family, and she doesn't want to be like, celebrate with all the other renegades. Like, why is she being like this? I thought she was a renegade. And then she starts talking about her past, and talking about how her father and her mother and her older sister died, and she was alone and an orphan, and she was shot as a baby, and that's why she carried around the bullet. And I was like, no, like, no freaking way. It's Evie. She was alive the whole time. Nova's little sister was alive the entire time, and she thought she was dead this whole time. She thought she had no more family. Like, I don't really understand the logistics of how they thought that the baby was dead, how she didn't go with Ace too, but I don't care, because I was shook, and I give Marissa Meyer so much credit for that ending. The fact that that did not get spoiled, did not get leaked out at all, like, boy, oh my gosh. I could not believe what I was reading. I have not had such a plot twist that I didn't know about, anything that I didn't have foreshadowed before in a book. I have not read that in so long. Because, like, I catch on to things really quickly, and it's not even, like, I catch on to things real quickly because I'm so smart. No, it's just, like, I happen to catch on because I'm just, like, a very, like, observative. I'm just, like, a very observative person. Is that a word? Am I saying that right? Observative. I can catch on to things, okay? I promise. And so I did not see this coming. I did not think that Evie was alive. And that ending was phenomenal. I am sad that we will never get to know what's going to happen, because Evie leaves off saying that, what did she say? My God, my heart is racing. Been racing since I freaking read it. Okay. Some people were always meant to be heroes, just like some people were always meant to be villains. And I'm like, Evie, girl, nuh-uh. We don't need another Ace, honey, from your family. Like, please. And I'm like, oh, we're never gonna get to see, like, Nova if she finds out that Evie is her sister and that she's alive and that the little pickpocketer girl is Evie, is Nova's baby sister. Like, is anybody else shook? Please tell me everyone else is shook, because I had no fucking idea. Like, no idea that that was gonna happen. Like, I don't ever say that word really on camera, but I had to, because I had no fucking idea. I am shook. The other thing is that the little girl, Evie, said that Max is kind of cute, and she'd never thought about it before. And I'm like, that's so cute. Like, it's basically, like, gonna be Nova and Adrian all over, but it's Evie and Max, and that is adorable. And honestly, I love that for them. Like, that is the cutest thing, and I'm just so happy. I don't know, maybe Max can save her from being a villain, because it seemed like she's going down that road, but I was just so, like, huh? I was just like, oh my gosh, like, Marissa Meyer really did that. Like, she really did that shit to us. Like, boy, freak. Frick. Okay, finally, that is all I have to say about Supernova. Let's take a look at this one more time. Definitely let me know down below what you thought of Supernova. Let me know what you rated. If you didn't like certain things or if you did like certain things, let me know, because I don't know a lot of people who have read the Renegade trilogy, and especially people who've gotten through Supernova yet. So please let me know, because I would love to know, like, genuinely. This book was honestly more than I could have hoped for, and I'm very happy with it. So that's pretty much all I have to say for you guys today. So I hope you liked this video. I hope you liked this video down below, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye!